If you're a language teacher or a language student and you're interested in how you might be able to use Google Gemini for language learning, then this is the video for you. I've done extensive tests and a group of people have been working with me as well. I'm going to show you three things. I'm going to show you some really clever ways that Google Gemini can generate texts in multiple languages, but then I'm going to show you how you could turn those texts into listening, so you could use them for pronunciation or for listening and reading. I'm then going to go on to show you some ways that we can work with vocabulary and Google Gemini, and then the last trick is really special. I'm going to show you how you can use Google Gemini to generate flashcards for Quizlet in seconds. Really hope you like this video, and if you do, please like it, please share it, please comment on it, and please join me on and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have more people subscribe. Let's get on with the video. Now, all the ideas that I'm showing you could work with ChatGPT or with Microsoft Copilot. I'm going to use Google Gemini simply because if you go to your apps in Google and click down, you will see Google Gemini here. And there's one thing I really like about Google Gemini, and that is that you can talk to it. So you can click on this button and simply ask it what you want it to create. Now, you can actually talk to it in lots of languages, and you can tell it to produce content in lots of languages. So I'm going to speak to it in English and ask it to produce some examples for me in Polish, because that's the language that I'm learning, but of course this could be done in multiple languages. So I'm going to click on this button here, and can you produce for me a text in Polish about the Polish football system, the Polish Football League, so I can understand it? Can you write this in Polish at level B1 of Polish? My level of Polish is B1. And can you make the text about 500 words long maximum? Thank you. So I press click again just to stop recording, and then I send this by clicking on it again. Notice that I asked for the number of words, the level, and obviously exactly what I wanted to do. Now, it's just that I'm kind of interested in football and I live in Poland, so I want to understand more about the Polish Football League. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm hoping that Google Gemini is now going to produce a text for me. Now, obviously I understand some people are going to say, oh, the quality of the text, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, that is something you need to look into. I've had people look at the text that is produced for me in Polish, and they've been very impressed. And I've certainly been impressed whenever I've seen anything produced in English. I'm not denying that there's often a certain type of genre to the text that it produces. Again, you can ask it, can it be a report, or can it be, a discursive essay? Can it be formal, informal? What I'm really interested in when I did for doing this is the vocabulary. So now it's produced the text for me, and that in itself is absolutely brilliant. But now I'm going to show you some really clever tricks that we could now do with that text. Okay, so that's really simple. We've seen all that before, but what I'm going to show you now is some really interesting things. First of all, I'm going to take that text and I'm going to put it into a free technology that's going to allow me to generate the audio for that text. Now, this could be, again, in multiple languages. I'm then going to get Google Gemini to also extract vocabulary from the text that we could then use to study. So if we want to read this text and it's a bit difficult, we could get Google Gemini to focus, first of all, on difficult words that we might need to learn before we can actually read the text. So let me show you both of those things in action. So we've got that text, and what I'm going to do with that text is just come down here. This is really useful if you're a language learner. Okay, I'm going to come down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and copy that text. Now I'm going to come over to a technology called Natural Readers, okay, and notice that this is completely free. So naturalreaders.com. Click on Get Started and choose Personal. Now I don't even need to log in. I'm just going to delete the text that's currently on the screen. I'm going to paste that text in, okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here at the top, and I'm going to choose the language. Now in my case I want it in Polish, but I want you to notice that there are multiple languages that you can use with this technology, so absolutely brilliant. Okay, I'm going to choose Polish, and then I'm going to choose Marek. You can choose a voice as well. Okay, I'm going to click off, and now what I can do is click on this button here and play that, and I'll be able to listen and read at the same time. So let's click on the button and see how well the audio comes out.
Jasne, przygotowałem dla ciebie tekst o polskim systemie piłki nożnej. Jest napisane...
And what I love is that not only do I get the kind of highlighted text here at the top as it's talking through, but also I get here underneath, I get the word being highlighted. So useful. You can turn that off if you don't like that feature. Let me just close that a minute. So you can click here on the right hand side and actually turn that feature off as well. Okay. Now, some people say to me, yeah, but Russell, I want to download the audio. Well, if you want to download the audio, there's another very similar technology that doesn't highlight the word, but it does the rest of it. It does generate the audio from a text. And you can download it, and that one's called Love Voice. Now if you want to watch that, I'm going to put a link on the screen now, and you can click and watch that video about using Love Voice. That will also work perfectly when working with Google Gemini. Now we can combine Google Gemini and natural readers to do some really clever things. So remember, we've got that text that we've asked it to write, and what I'm going to say now is I'm going to click here, say Google Gemini, can you produce for me from that text, can you extract 10 of the most important words that I would need to study to help me to understand the text? And can you put those words in Polish in a column for me? Click again. Now I've asked specifically for a column, and you'll see why in a minute. And this is something really important because it makes it very easy to copy the words and then paste them into natural readers to listen to those words being read out. Now you could have just as easily asked for the words in Polish plus the word in English, say for example, for a translation. I'm not doing that because I just want to show you it's a little idea, something that I really like. Let's say I'm going to copy those words, okay? I'm just going to copy them, and I'm going to come over to Google Gemini. I'm going to close that down, and I'm already set to Polish. I'm just going to paste those words in. If I wanted to practice the individual pronunciation of the words, then I can do that. And I have to admit that though I do like to listen to words in context within a sentence, there are times when I really like to just hear the words on their own so that I can pronounce them, particularly in Polish, because the pronunciation can be really, really tricky. So this can be helpful. Watch this.
System. Liga. Poziom. Policyjny. Ekstraklasa.
Okay, if you're finding the video useful, please like it. By the way, it's still the same day. I've just taken my jumper off in case you've noticed that I've suddenly got a different colour shirt on. I'm going to move on now to show you some of the vocabulary tricks that we can do, because see, we could take that text and we could also say, turn it into a gap fill for me, or can you make collocates for me? In other words, could you extract, say, some of the really common phrases or words that connect together? So there's lots of things that we can do. We can really get Google Gemini to extract from that reading material lots of different ideas. One last thing, lots of people who ask me, how do you make your videos, Russell? Well, actually, I do have another channel called Screencast Guru that basically where I show you exactly how I make all my videos and how I built up my YouTube channel, etc. And if you want to know about that, I'll put that video or that channel, you can sign up, subscribe to the channel on the screen now. Loads of videos, and it shows you everything I do. I use a technology called Camtasia. Let's get on with the video. So we got this text, we got this list of words, that's great. Let's see if we can get it to do something a bit more interesting. So I'm going to click on here. Can you take the text that you generated for me and turn it into a close test? In other words, can you take out 10 keywords for me from the text so that I have to read the text and try to guess what those words are? Now I've noticed that it's written close test, but I'm hoping it's going to understand me. So I'm going to now send again, and what I'm hoping is it's actually going to generate that text and extract the 10 words. Now that could be really interesting, see, as an activity to practice on your own. And of course, all you need to do afterwards, you do the activity, and then afterwards you would see from the text above whether you got your answers wrong or right. So you could always use the original text to check whether or not you got your answers wrong or right. Now, another thing that I actually do a lot of is ask it to, say, extract 10 common phrases, or, for example, to extract 10 sentences in the past or 10 sentences in the present. Now, it will generally do that pretty accurately, for example, but I'm going to ask it now to just produce for me 10. Can you extract from the text 10 really common phrases that would be useful for me to learn? So 10 phrases that would really help me to understand the text, and these phrases would be phrases that I could use in the future when speaking in Polish. So you notice that I give it a lot of information, and that's why I like speaking to it, because I can really kind of set the context up, and hopefully it's going to produce those 10 phrases for me, okay? And it's done that. I really like, let's have a look actually what it's produced. And actually it's done a fantastic job, because what it's done is it's literally put the whole, it's given me the phrase and it's shown me the phrase in a sentence, and then it's gave me a little explanation afterwards in English. That is absolutely fantastic. So that's the sort of things that you can do with the vocabulary, and it's all a matter of you practicing and communicating with Google Gemini. Now I'm going to show you one final trick which I absolutely love. Okay, really hope that's useful, and if it is, please like the video. I know I keep saying it, but it really does help me to boost my ranking on YouTube. Google Gemini wouldn't be my absolutely favorite technology for using when I'm studying languages. I do use it a lot now. If you want to know my favorite technology, I'll put that on the screen now. Absolutely amazing. A technology that I use to connect to YouTube videos so that I can study from any YouTube video that I'm watching in French or in Polish or even sometimes in Spanish. I'm going to move on now to show you this little trick with Quizlet. Now, most people know what Quizlet is. It's a brilliant technology for studying vocabulary, and if you don't know what Quizlet is, then watch the video that's on the screen now. You'll find that really useful. But I'm going to show you how I can make flashcards in just a few seconds. Now, you could connect these flashcards to the text that you got Google Gemini to create. I'm not going to do that in this example, but it would be easy just to say, right, can you now give me 10 words from the text and make flashcards from them, and that would also work. Let's have a look then at this final idea. Can you produce for me a set of flashcards? What I want is 10 different names for shops, typical shops in Polish, and I want a definition in Polish of the shop. Can you put that into a table for me? So I've got the shops on the left hand side and the definitions on the right, and I just need 10 shops and 10 definitions. So I click then to stop and then click again to send, and I'm hoping that Google Gemini is going to produce that for me. And the nice thing will be that if it does, and you need to tell it to put it into a table, because you want to copy that table and literally paste it straight in. Now, I've asked it to do this in Polish for me, and it's done it very nicely, I can see. Okay, brilliant. Now, what I've done here is I've not asked for a translation, but I could have done. I could have asked for a translation, but rather I've asked for a kind of definition in Polish of that shop, because my Polish is getting quite good now, and it's really good for me to do that. Okay, now all I'm going to do, watch this, is I'm literally just going to copy that set of cards. Okay, copy them. And this is where the magic starts. Let's just jump over now to Quizlet. And what we're going to do is we're going to click here now, because we want to generate a new set of cards. So we're going to click flashcard set and create yourself. And all you need to do is, I'm going to write in the title as shops. Okay, and then I'm not going to worry about a description. I'm going to click on import. This is the magic button, and I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to paste in all of those words that I've copied. Now, if I click on import now, you will see that I've now got myself a lovely set of cards with the name of the shop on one side, and then in my case, a description of that shop in Polish. Remember, I could have asked for a translation, whatever you want. Yeah, you can use this in so many different ways. Now, one little tip. Just click on the very first card, just so that it picks up the language. Okay, and it's done that now. It's picked up that it's in Polish and Polish. Okay, you need to do that. It just needs to kind of know what language it's going to be working with. For some reason, when you make those cards, it doesn't do it automatically. Now I'm going to click on create and practice, because I'm actually going to use these cards straight away. Okay, And let's, in fact, sorry, I'm not going to, oh no. Now the button that you want to click on is create. So click on create, and that will kind of create your cards. You can, don't bother with this obviously unless you do want to share it. And then what I want you to do is click on flashcards, and I want to read the definition first, and I want the audio. So I'm going to go over to the settings, and I'm going to select that I get the definition at the front. And then I'm going to click down to here and make sure that I put on text to speech. And in this case, I'm not going to change it, the text to speech. If I click on the advanced options, just to click here, we actually want to make sure that we got both activated, because this time we want to hear it, both sides we want to hear, okay? And then click on restart flashcards. Now, hopefully, if I click on this button here now, I should be able to hear that in Polish.
Sklep, w którym kupisz jedzenie I podstawowe artykuły gospodarstwa domowego.
Okay, sklep spożywski, I think it is in Polish.
Sklep spożywczy.
Not bad. Spożywczy. Now you can see how hard it is to learn this language. That is a lovely idea, saves a lot of time, and in this case it really means that I'm processing and using my Polish. If you want to follow my work or you want more free videos, come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. That's my website. I specialize in videos for language teachers and language students. I show language teachers and students how to use technology in their teaching and their learning. There's loads of videos on the website. They're all free. Also, you can sign up to the newsletter. The newsletter, there's about 9,000 people on it now, and I send you basically an email once a week, and it's normally just one new video that I've added up onto YouTube. So it's a way of keeping up to date. I also let you know about any webinars or any courses I'm running, etc. Often the webinars are free as well. The other thing is, if you sign up to the newsletter at the moment, you do get a mini 14-part course. I kind of send you a video every 3 or 4 days, basically focusing on the most useful or the most popular videos on my YouTube channel. And that can be a real eye-opener into different technologies and the things that are happening. Thanks ever so much, and I will leave a few more videos now on the screen that you might find useful.